the ball.
Celtics win 119-117. Their 33 road wins this season, tied for the second most in NBA history with the 95-96 Bulls. Knicks are now 0-9 this season against the top three teams in the NBA by record. That's the Thunder, the Cavaliers, and the Celtics. Only the Wizards and the Nets have a worse record against those three opponents this season, and the Wizards and the Nets are not going to the playoffs, Monica. Monica, after last night's loss, do you think Knicks fans should be discouraged or encouraged by what they saw last night?
I'm going to choose the glass half full. I think you go optimistic. That, to me, was the best performance, 48-plus, the overtime period, that you've seen in these matchups from this Knicks squad. They've had an issue with being able to put together complete games as far as playing out the duration of the game, and they did that last night. If you want to add to that, it's being Jalen Brunson's just his second game back after injury. He has an opportunity to continue to get better, to get back to full strength of what he was this season. That should make him, arguably, probably should be the clutch player of the year. I think you saw this team defend. OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges committed on that end. They were terrific in the glass. And Karl Anthony Towns, his ability to score in the paint in this one was a sight to see. And so I would choose optimism if you're a Knicks fan. Now, I fully acknowledge Jaylen Brown did not look himself in this contest. In fact, Karl Anthony Towns really had his way with him, particularly in that first half. But I think you choose optimism. It's a strong showing against one of the best teams, if you don't believe that is the best team in the league.
Yeah, Wendy, what do we know about Jaylen Brown? Obviously, he played just 22 minutes last night. They kept talking throughout the game about the concern about his knee. Is he all right? Is he all right ahead of the playoffs? Are they just monitoring him? What's going on?
Clearly, he's not himself. Understand the Celtics would not be having him out there if they thought playing would materially damage his knee. But you could tell he was not himself. He didn't have any burst whatsoever, which is why Joe Mazzulla ultimately took him out of the game. Before last night, even though he had discussed the knee was really late, he was laboring with it, it wasn't really affecting his output. He was still playing pretty well. That doesn't seem to be the case anymore. And even his teammates after last night's game, Kristaps Porzingis, for example, suggested he may need to shut it down and rest. Now, if this is something that can be addressed with some rest, the Celtics have weeks before they're going to really be stressed. They are now into the number 2 seed. The Cavs clinched the number 1 seed last night. I don't expect, they're going to have a week off between the end of the season and the start of the playoffs. I do not expect them to have stress in the first round. Considering they swept the season series with the Knicks, I'm not even so sure they might face stress in the second round. And so really, there's plenty of time for Jaylen Brown to recover, but obviously it's something that they may need to give him some rest for.
No doubt. Title defense on the line for Boston. Time to run the floor. Lots to talk about in the NBA as we head down the final stretch. Wendy, you just mentioned the Cavaliers clinched the number 1 seed in the East last night. So, is it a failure if this Cleveland team does not get to the finals?
It's a failure to not recognize how awesome Boston is if you think it's a failure not to reach the finals. The Cavs have had a spectacular season, and I think the step to try to beat Boston starts with getting home court, which is what they've been able to secure. And if they're able to take care of business, and by the way, I'm not handing them 8 wins in the playoffs. They're going to have a potentially very challenging second-round series against maybe Milwaukee or Indiana. But if the Cavs get there and get to start and potentially end the series at home, that's part of the way you figure out Boston.
Monica, the Warriors beat the Suns by 38 and have won 6 of their last 7 games. Can Golden State win the whole thing?
Graz. Try as you may, I still got the Oklahoma City Thunder coming out of the Western Conference. Now, having said that, if you told me that behind Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler, these guys went on a run and upset the Thunder, would I be shocked? No. Do I think that is likely? No.
Wendy?
Look, Golden State has demonstrated that they are a completely different team since getting Jimmy Butler. But they're still in some danger zone here. They're not cleared from being out of the play-in. So they got to finish strong, and you can tell that they did that last night. If they get into a good spot in the Western Conference seeding, I like their chances to give Oklahoma City a run. But there is so many things that have to happen and so many variables. All you can basically do at this point is pick teams you like in the West and wait and see how things play out.
All right, there's a team you like in the West, which is the Clippers. You've been talking about all week. They are red hot. They've won 5 games in a row. Are people still sleeping on the L.A. Clippers?
They shouldn't be. I was at the game last night. This team is locked in. They gave Kawhi Leonard the night off last night so he can be ready to go against Houston tonight. They are in the same situation. They are in this logjam in the West. They need to win these games. But they, after weeks of playing well and not being able to get out of the 7-8 spot, have zoomed up, and they're in great position in the tiebreaker. They're de facto the 4 seed right now. I know that it looks like the Nuggets are the 4 seed, or actually the 5, but the Clippers are in command of that tiebreaker. So if they can finish strong, they can get home court. This is a team that defends, and Kawhi Leonard has scored 20-plus points in 12 straight games. They are quietly confident, but they know in LA that they've had bad things happen to them in the past. They are just hoping to stay healthy, but they like the position that they're in.
What do you think of the Clippers?
I agree. Let's see, there was West Coast trip, the Knicks were on the West Coast the start of March, and they had to play the Clippers. I think they played them in LA, and then the Clippers came here. And I remember thinking, oh, wow, like this team, I think the storyline on the Clippers all season was sort of the injuries. Quietly, James Harden was putting together a terrific year to keep them afloat. But now that they're healthy and they've gotten their pieces back, I mean, yes, Kawhi Leonard is obviously the name in the marquee when it comes to the Clippers, but James Harden has had a great season. And the way that they've been able to play through Zubats, to me, like they've got size, they've got wing scoring, and they've got a defense.
One of these years, I guess, but I guess they've been saying that about the Clippers for a while.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll see. The push for playoff positioning is on with less than a week left in the regular season. Our ESPN NBA Wednesday doubleheader features Luka's return to Dallas at 7:30 Eastern. Then Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets take on DeMar DeRozan and the Kings. Our coverage tips with NBA Countdown at 7 Eastern. Comeback of the night in the NBA. Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves hit the road to take on Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks. And the Bucks trailed by as many as 24 points early in the fourth quarter. I'll say that again. 24 points, Monica, in the fourth quarter.
I heard you.
Under 9 to go, down by 16. There's Giannis with the dunk. Then Giannis with the 3. Bucks down by 11 now. Suing Timberwolves possession, same score. DiVincenzo turns it over. Kevin Porter Jr. finds A.J. Green, who drills a deep 3, cuts it to 8. Under 4 minutes remaining, Bucks down by just 3. That's a 3 from Green that ties it at 97. Timberwolves again turning it over. Anthony Edwards losing the dribble. Gary Trent Jr. picking it up and finding Porter Jr. for an easy dunk. Bucks lead by 1. On the other end, Julius Randle throws another turnover to Porter Jr. Minnesota just falling apart. Another fast break dunk. Bucks up by 3. And under 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Bucks up by 5. Porter Jr. comes up with another steal, pushes the break, lobs it to Giannis for the dunk. Bucks complete a wild fourth quarter comeback. Porter Jr. had 21 and 5. Giannis had a triple-double. Bucks win 110-103. There was a hockey comeback of the night last night. Canucks visiting the Stars. 1 minute left in the third period. Canucks down 5-2. 1 minute left in the third period, down 3 goals. Marcus Pettersson grabs the rebound and passes to Aatu Ratu for the goal. What a shot by Ratu. Canucks down 5-3. 30 seconds left in the third period. Same score. Canucks with the empty net. Connor Garland to Pius Suter for the goal. Canucks down 5-4. Same score. Final seconds of the third period. Canucks still with the empty net. And Philip Ronick is going to find Suter for the tying goal. Canucks rally from 3 down in the last minute to tie and force overtime. Minute and 20 left in OT. Game tied at 5. Canucks, you know they're not going to lose after coming back like that. Get the puck from behind the net. Garland passes to keeper Sherwood in front of the net, and he scores. Canucks complete the miraculous comeback, winning 6-5 in overtime. They became the first team in NHL history to overcome a 3-goal deficit in the final minute of regulation. Canucks scored those 3 goals in a total of 54 seconds, which was just the second fastest 3-goal burst in franchise history. They did it in 48 seconds back in 1993. When we come back on Get Up, more NFL, the Steelers continue to play the Aaron Rodgers waiting game. But coming up, we'll explain why Pittsburgh might have to make a bold move in next month's draft.